Hashtag how to run for pole mark.
Lecture 13, April 27. That good old Kappa Spirit. A brother who often runs marathons posted a picture of himself crossing the finish line wearing a shirt that simply said, "You are enough." We don't know what place he came in or if he just runs for his health, but future marathons will be ran where he won't wear that shirt, and many may never know that they are enough. Noble and bold, this brother endured miles, encouraging runners and spectators with whatever spirit that woke him up that day, placed him at the start and propelled him through the finish line. Trained for leadership, he could have been telling himself he was enough. Win, lose, or draw as the objective of any race is foremost to finish. Comparing those first, last, and in between is not the purpose of any marathon, but it is only circumstantial and more so coincidental. The purpose of a marathon is for the benefit and fulfillment in running for whatever worthy cause draws us to the start of races and pushes us across finish lines to add girth to our portfolios of achievements in our lives. But what is it that causes us to smile before races that we know will be long and arduous? Happily, instead of dreading what can only come with the will and determination within ourselves to achieve in the spirit of the event, we take strides encouraging to ourselves, saying, "You are enough." That same spirit that causes joy in those arriving to a marathon is all the more upon completion, where in Kappa we find that joy in what we call that good old Kappa Spirit. For Kappa, that spirit was first recognized in World War I, where a call from Irven Armstrong to unite in Lemans, France was answered by 25 with more unable to pass the sea of mud, hindering transportation. We are all in a race to achieve, but that good old Kappa Spirit can't be bought, sold, or bartered, as it's only freely reciprocated to brothers and witnessed by those in proximity, where that good old Kappa Spirit may be a lot of things, but it can't be bought. As we'll long for thee and toil until we reach the golden shore, price tags however large or small limit the value of what is sold to something numerical, but our spirit is uncompromising. Sure, some may see brothers divided whether over money, women, or what have you, and consequently wouldn't pay a dime for what we hold so dear. And yet there are other times, when chapters functioning well become the envy of others, where no amount would be sufficient to call it fair market value. We can't buy our way into royalty nor public office, as through strategy does the former embrace marriage and the latter make campaign promises. Our spirit being unique to us is something we couldn't deliver if someone were to pay the asking price, because we don't have it. At the same time, it comes to us from time to time while in the presence of those with whom we share the bond, but we can't force it to manifest itself. We are but men, and though it may seem from the outside looking in that we are the dominant party whether in number or through style, we actually are, because moving in unison and gravitating to designated locations at specific times, we can always say us, when most can only say I. There is no way that one can afford quid pro quo the value we place on our good old Kappa Spirit, as we long for thee and toil until we reach that golden shore. That good old Kappa Spirit can't be sold by anyone anywhere on this earth. Some may ask from where it comes, where it is found initially in the establishment of our fraternity. From that nucleus of the body there is a collective mind of its own, wherein knowledge of its members, their accomplishments, its tradition, and its culture, a collective interest in achievement, brings us happiness and joy. That joy wouldn't be so satisfying if it weren't protected by something, so knowing this, the fidelity to our commitment shields the body from those who may mean harm. As it is not possible to buy that spirit, it is also as impossible for brothers to sell this spirit they possess from time to time, because it is not like we can package something so valuable and precious to us. We know it is what those outside are attracted to, that which is in us, which they may not see directly, but context clues lead to their hope that one day, if possible, they may share. The audacity of hope is what fuels the fire in younger generations to have what we possess from time to time with the bond, and every time we think of Kappa in our minds and smile, but nonetheless can't be sold to any. That good old Kappa Spirit can certainly not be bartered either, as there is nothing that can contain it except memories of yesterday we share with each other, hoping to rekindle in stories when it came over us. We are all in a race to succeed today for future achievement tomorrow, where individually, you are enough, and together we can try, but it is more spontaneous than automatic. So in the spirit of this marathon we encourage all to achieve, because achievement is a prerequisite to conjuring that spirit that is called good, old, and Kappa. The spirit can't be conjured when of two one hadn't achieved, while the joy of achievement shines in the other. As the truth that results from success breeds more of the same, there is always unfortunately a possibility of antagonism. Bartering the spirit of anything means that we have possession of that something, but we don't, as that good old Kappa Spirit, to find, can only be had in the past or wished for in the future. The spirit takes over the present, possessing those there, and we can't barter something that we are subjects of, where we always find a protagonist in the pole march. In this race to achieve, you are enough to represent that good old Kappa Spirit, but there is no way it can be exchanged by mere men. Buying, selling, or bartering is not so much discouraged, but more so impossible. The spirit is infinite, where for those who consider its purchase a price tag would only limit what to us is invaluable. One does not own that spirit, but shares in the magnitude of the whole, where not being physical it is non-tangible and only seen in stories of yesterday. We can say we had that spirit, or we want to have it again in the future, but in the present, when the spirit is upon us, we are more its subject than it ours. We sell diamonds so others may see the spirit in recipients.
That concludes the information for this time. Tune into our weekly presentations during this spring semester, Wednesdays from 9:11 a.m. to 10:05, as we learn how to run for pole mark.